Alright, I just implemented a very cool feature. This took a couple days. I am now reading from an SD card. Here's a little proof. So I have it to where it opens the SD card, reads it, and closes it whenever it's used. So you can hot swap it and move around patches if you feel like. The patches are stored in a directory called YM2420, and they're all stored individually as files. So if you wanted to share patches between your friends or whatever, if you all built one of these, you can absolutely do that. So this proof of concept, if I take the SD card out and I try to read patches, it says no SD card, right? Put this guy in there, and it's using the last patch that's loaded. I put it in there, and I turn the knob, and there it goes. Just read the next patch. The 16 characters on the bottom are stored in a file without the null bit because it's unnecessary. We know it's a solid 16. And then all of the parameters that are used to create the sound are stored after that 16 characters, and that's it, which is simply 8 bytes. So the name is actually twice as much storage as the actual patches themselves. But let's actually take a look at what using patches sounds like, because there's something very cool I want to show you about this. This is new if you've been watching the videos. You may have an idea of what's going on with it, and it is exactly what you think. I'll get to it. So here's a patch, right? I call it Sparkletron. So, you know. Wow. Anyway, I'm about to go to bed, so you get the idea. Just kidding, I'm not actually tired, that's just my poor excuse. So here's that patch, and I'll turn the knob. There's Casio Town. The parameters, they store the values, that rounds to whatever parameter is on here. Like, this one's a good one. This rounds really heavily. This only has a few steps, right? But if the value is the same, then it doesn't write a new value. So as I change patches, these aren't moving, so the values stay the same, so it doesn't affect the patch that's loaded. So here's, Casio Tone. I tried to model this off a Casio Tone CT607 patch. And here's one, Pocket Calculator, right? Oops. So you get the idea, right? There's patches. Let's write a patch. So create a sound. I'll start with Pocket Calculator. Let's put some release on it. Let's give it a little less sustain on the carrier. Turn all these down a bunch. There we go. That sounds pretty good. So let's save it. These buttons are mapped right now. This is save and this is back. Back only works with the save menu right now, but I plan on using it for more things. I was going to call it exit in my code, but back is more applicable for like cell phones and stuff. It's more intuitive, right? So we're going to save this patch. We press this button, and what happens is the files on this card get read. So right now it knows that there's patch 1 and 2, right? But or there's 3 patches, 0, 1, and 2. But 3 is the next available one, so it's going to save 3. Since it has to iterate through all the files to find the last file, it's kind of slow, and I've been thinking of ditching that like 1 file per patch idea. And anyway, I'll see what happens. I might have some shortcuts to do it. Maybe count by 10, and if it doesn't find one, go back until it finds it, or something like that. But anyway, lots of words. This is now a keyboard. This does not play any music. Let me demonstrate. So here's A over here, right? Because it says A on top. I press A and I type A. Press A again, type A. Here's a shift. Hold down Shift, press A, it types Shift A, right? So Shift A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Type whatever you want. If you press Shift without pressing one of these keys, it's a space, right? Kind of cool, right? And this rotary encoder moves the cursor, which you could probably barely see in the video, which is right here, left and right. So you can go all the way back, decide, I don't like this, fill it out, whatever. There's no backspace. There's no real need for a backspace. So I have alpha, capital alpha, have numerics, and I plan on having special characters here. I just haven't decided what they'll be yet. Probably parentheses and exclamation mark. You get the idea. Because I'm saving this not as a file name, but as data, I don't have to worry about the special characters when saving with FAT. And I just have to watch out for what's on the screen. For all I care, I could even print katakana if I felt like it. So I like this patch. I'm going to name this patch ZAR, right? T-Z-A-R. Now, bear in mind, if you've ever used any other synthesizers that have a screen that you can save your patch names with, you probably had to roll this rotary encoder for every character, including the capitals. So that's 26 times 2 plus your special characters plus your number or whatever. And it's a real pain in the ass. The jog wheel, you can scroll it, and that's fine, I guess, if it's a jog wheel. This is harder to do, but why not just type it? I mean, it's a little silly having these written on top, but watch. I'm going to type ZAR with a capital T. T-Z-A-R. And I'm done. Pretty alright, right? I press this button again to save, and now it's saved. I can play that patch. And go back to previous patch. Go back to ZAR. Look at that. That's so cool. Wow. If you're on patch 0, it doesn't go back. If you're on the last patch, it searches for the next file when you turn the rotary encoder. I opted to do this so that you can hot swap the SD card if you felt like it. It's not going to interfere with the code. It's completely safe. It's a little slower, but I mean, that's not slow. That's simply just not slow, so it's fine. Let's do another one just for kicks. Alright. So I'll make this more of a bass sound, right? And we'll save it. I'm going to call it digital fat. So D-I-G-I-T-A-L space capital fat. And right there. How cool is that? Woo! Oh, and one more functionality. If you go to save it and you don't, no big deal. It goes back to the last patch. Got you covered. So in the future, I don't know if I want the ability to delete patches. Doesn't really make that much sense. I may have one giant file that holds all these things, and giant, I mean, each one of these files is 24 kilobytes in file size. It's not a big deal. Or no, 24 bytes, sorry. It's very, very small. So a giant, like, almost a kilobyte file. I might do that, I don't know. And overwriting a patch. I don't have that yet, but I figured what I would do is hold down the save button, and if you do that, then you'll get, you know, the prompt again, and you don't have to change it. It'll just show up the previous one, and you tap it again, and you'll save it. I think that's a good UX. I'm going to think about it. This whole thing just came to me like when I was waking up one morning. Pretty cool. Anyway, okay, less words. Very cool. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.